Eagles in the Super Bowl against the Tennessee Chiefs, although Paul got really upset with me just now because I said I wouldn't be that disappointed if they lost to a better team. And so he got offended that I would dare suggest that the Chiefs are a better team. Well, I mean, listen, I don't know who the better team is. Maybe in the Super Bowl, Eagles go in and beat the crap out of them. And that Chiefs thing. And I hope that happens. But at the end of the day, if they lose to a quarterback like Mahomes, what am I going to say? Like, they blew it? Like, this guy's got a pedigree beyond belief. He makes plays when you wouldn't think that when you think you got him, he makes a play. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. They got some kind of magic. So it would be a monumental victory for the Eagles to beat this team, and I hope they do.
Yeah, I think we all hope that they do. But you're right on this. I agree with you. I mean, I said this earlier. I think if you match up the rosters, the Eagles are the better roster in pretty much every single spot, but they have Mahomes. They have Andy Reid.
And that counts for more than just going one-to-one.
You can't quantify it.
Yes.
You can't quantify it. And, like, when we were going into the NFC Championship game against the Commanders and people were nervous about Jaden Daniels, as good as Jaden Daniels is, he's not Patrick Mahomes. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury aren't Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo.
So, and that's the other thing. Like, if I had a quarterback like Mahomes here, and I'm not trying to take away anything from Jalen Hurts, because he played his butt off last week, and maybe he does that again in the Super Bowl. But, like, I go, okay, Spagnuolo apparently knows how to play this guy. He confuses him with these exotic blitzes. Like, my comfort level with that is not as high as it would be against somebody else. That's all. That's not to say it wouldn't happen.
But, and again, not discrediting the Mahomes magic or Andy Reid or Spagnuolo. The difference this year, though, the difference with this Eagles team, you could try to scheme up all you want and try to stop this rushing attack. At the end of the day, it becomes just about a physical thing. You're not going to be able to stop the run. You're not going to be able to dominate the line of scrimmage against the Eagles' offensive line. And you're not going to be able to stop Saquon Barkley if the Eagles keep feeding him the football. So that's where the one difference for me from 2022 to 2024 is they still have Mahomes, they still have Reid, they still have Spagnuolo, but we're coming with Saquon this year. And that's a major difference than what you had in 2022. As good as Miles Sanders was, he's not a generational talent like Saquon Barkley is.
Exactly. So Spagnuolo can do all the exotic blitzes he wants when it comes to the quarterback. What's he going to do against this guy? Because nobody's been able to stop this guy. Well, what is Spagnuolo? Some kind of an AI guy that has the secret to stopping him? Yeah. No.
They did have a top 10 rushing defense this year, but...
they did. How many times did they face Saquon?
Yeah, exactly. 0.
Uh-huh.
But so far this playoffs, the Chiefs are giving up 148 rushing yards a game. So the Eagles are going to be able to move the football. We'll see how it goes. But you started the show. You said, are the Sirianni haters and the Hurts haters ready to...
Have they withered and faded away? It sounds like a song lyric.
Withered
and faded away.
So you know my praise for Nick Sirianni. I think everybody does. But I tweeted this out last night about Jalen. You would agree with me that the two biggest games of Jalen Hurts' career to date, Super Bowl 57 2 years ago, and the NFC Championship game we just watched. It's probably his two biggest games in his career. Listen to these stat lines, Mike, in those two games. Super Bowl 57, 71% completion rate, 304 passing yards, 70 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, a 103.4 rating. Tell people who they're listening to, and I'll give you a stat line from last week.
Look at you. You're listening to WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia. You always start this long explanation thing as we go into the legal ID. We're a Beasley Media Group station broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio, powering possibilities.
So in the Super Bowl, 71% completion, over 300 passing yards, 70 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, over 100 rating. Last week, 71% completion rate again, 246 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 110 rating. You could argue the two biggest games of his career were the two best games of his career.
Yeah.
He's going to show up. Winners shine when the lights are brightest. Jalen Hurts is a winner.
Yes, he is. Now, speaking of Saquon Barkley, there are a lot of people saying, where does he rank as far as is he the best free agent that's ever been signed in Philadelphia sports. And I just tried to come up with a list in my head. And I got a list here. I got him actually. I have him second on the list.
I can't imagine anybody above him.
Julius Erving.
Before my time. Yeah.
Before your time.
So that's probably why.
Have you ever heard of Julius Erving?
No, I'm saying before my time, so I didn't get to see.
Wait a minute. Hold it a second. Wait, you are aware of Julius Erving,
what I'm saying is, I don't know the impact he had on that team.
Oh, my God.
What
The
were
impact
they
he had
before?
on this city was amazing.
But what were they
There's
before
a
he got
documentary
there?
on the guy.
What were they like
They
before
were
he got there?
terrible.
And then he comes, but was it him? When did he sign with the
77.
And when did they win their first title?
They went to the finals the first year.
When did they win the first title?
1983.
So it took 6 years.
Yeah, but still, he regenerated. He was the most talked about man on the planet. All right, you don't agree with that, but I got.
Well, no,
I got Dr. J number one. I think people would agree with that. Dr. J, Barkley, Moses, Rose, Harper. Top 5.
Okay.
Second 5, Wheeler, George McGinnis, who came in with Doc, Cliff Lee, who they wound up re-signing after they traded him, Jim Thome, and now you can fill in the blanks because the 4 guys I have left are John Runyon, Jason Worth, Jenkins,
Malcolm. That's what I would have put up there.
and Papelbon.
See, I think Malcolm Jenkins needs to be higher. I still don't feel that this city appreciates what Malcolm Jenkins brought to that Super Bowl team. He was not only a great player, didn't miss a snap, played special teams, played defense. He was the true leader of that football team.
You could put him higher on the list. He wasn't here that long ago.
There was another one you missed,
Who's that?
and I think you're going to disagree with me on this.
Who?
But I think he's got to go down as one of the best free agent signings. Nicky Foles. Even though they drafted him, when they signed him that year, he was a free agent. If they don't sign him, we're still waiting for the first Super Bowl in franchise history. Because there was no other backup that was going to step in and do what he did.
But they drafted him. Like he wasn't a free.
But they had to sign him.
Technically, was not a free agent.
He was.
He was part of that.
They drafted him.
I don't know.
And then he got traded away by Chip Kelly.
The criteria is like that's Cliff Lee criteria. In fact, I'm going to eliminate Cliff Lee. But Cliff Lee wasn't drafted by the Phillies. They traded for him in the first place. So then they signed him as a free agent. So I'll take Lee off of that.
But I think you can make the argument Nick Foles is the best.
Yeah, but Nick Foles was not a free agent. So.
He was.
No, it's not the category. He was a member of the Eagles before he was a free agent. That doesn't count as being a free agent. Free agent is being free. You're free.
He was free.
You're out there.
He was on a different team.
But he was here. He had a pedigree here.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't make him totally free.
He's still a free agent signing.
It's a classic barroom argument where I pour beer on your head after, like 10 minutes of...
Nick Sirianni may be the best.
The best free agent ever.
Nick
Sirianni. So is Barkley... Ray, you're a youngin'. You've never heard of Dr. J.
Sorry, who are we talking about?
That's not what I meant. I know who Dr. J was.
Can I visit Dr. J at Paoli? What hospital does Dr. J work at?
Oh, man.
Is Saquon Barkley. His first response is, that's before my time.
I'm saying I couldn't appreciate the impact.
The legend of Dr. J doesn't resonate with Bill.
Well, that's just
Is Barkley the greatest free agent ever?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so.
What'd you have? What's your list?
I think when you go the Dr. J route, I think he and I also think Harper are monumental moments for the organization that shift them into a period of winning from a down period. Where I think Saquon Barkley, you bring in that player when that moment has started. So like with the Moses, the Pete Rose, those players come in and
push
they
you over
push
the
it
top.
to the top. But I think you need that monumental
Harper's
first one to build.
Okay, I got it. That's fair. That's a good explanation.
Yeah, that is a good explanation.
But Dr. J, you would have as the number one guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I would put like the Harper Dr. J one to me is probably like 1A,
Really?
1B. Well, yeah, because I mean, I think about Bryce where the organization was at. Like now, it's become all Bryce's buddies. Like this is just kind of the friend club for him. But like I think about where the organization was at. If you don't get that,
you're right.
like
You're
we like the draft picks they've made because they've become complementary pieces to what they've built.
But wait a second. Saquon Barkley, I think, is 29 yards away from the all-time record for most rushing yards in a single season, both regular season and postseason. If in 2 weeks Saquon has another unbelievable football game, leading the Philadelphia Eagles to a Super Bowl victory in his first year coming here as a free agent, we're still going to put Bryce Harper above him, who hasn't won a World Series.
Or Julius Erving, who played here 10 years. Like you can't ignore longevity.
I would say with that argument, Dr. J definitely has to be over Harper because of the ring. But I look at it so much more as the transformational moment of an organization than just like this was a good team. Barkley pushed it to a great team. Barkley also has that great team around. Like Harper came here and he was playing in an outfield that Nick Williams was still part of.
You got to learn from the youngin, Bill.
No, Ray's making valid points.
Ray made a valid point. Ray understood the magnitude of Dr. J. You're like,
no, what?
Who was he? What number? 6'1", 6'3",
Is that what I sound like?
Sound like
Spot on.
0975. Back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. Appreciate you guys checking out things with the Mike Missanelli Show. If you want more from us, check out the playlist right here to get this one. Check out all the playlists. There's a lot to watch.